All right, let's be real for a sec. Who hasn't, like, daydreamed about calling the shots with huge sums of money? Making those big financial moves. It's that investment fund manager mystique, exhilarating, a little intimidating.
And often, the reality is way more nuanced than those daydreams.
Exactly. So today we're diving deep into what this career really takes, and our guide is RoleCatcher, this awesome career platform with a ton of insider advice.
They're like that friend who knows all the shortcuts, but for high finance.
Love it. So RoleCatcher jumps right in, saying fund managers are basically the brains behind a fund strategy, but it's more than just number crunching, right?
Totally. People think it's all Bloomberg terminals and reacting to every market twitch.
Glued to the screen 24/7.
While staying informed is key, it's really about the long game. Having a vision, a strategy that cuts through the noise.
So less math whiz, more like chess master, thinking several weeks ahead.
Exactly. Imagine this. You're managing a renewable energy fund. Your analyst brings you a report, super promising solar tech, all the data checks out, growth projections through the roof.
Sounds like a slam dunk.
Right. But you, as the fund manager, got to think bigger. How will new regulations impact this? What about supply chain risks? It's judgment, deep industry knowledge, not just the raw numbers.
So it's like analytical skills meet. Gut feeling almost.
You nailed it. Connecting the dots, seeing patterns others miss. That's what separates the good from the truly great in this field.
Makes sense. Now, for our listeners wondering if this pressure cooker high reward path is for them, RoleCatcher gets real with the pros and cons.
Oh, not for the faint of heart, that's for sure. They highlight the earning potential, but don't sugarcoat the demands. Long hours, constant pressure, got to be on your toes.
So honestly, listeners, think about this. Could you thrive in that? High stakes, decisions with real impact. Is the potential payoff worth that intensity?
That's the million-dollar question. And it's not just tolerating the pressure, it's about, really feeding off of it. RoleCatcher's work environment section.
Paints a vivid picture, yeah.
Imagine a trading floor, buzzing energy, information overload.
Yeah.
Got to think on your feet, make calls fast.
Some people crave that, though, that adrenaline, the mental challenge.
For sure. And it's not all numbers. You got to be communication pro, too. Talking to analysts, clients, stakeholders. Clearly, persuasively, getting them on board with your vision.
So financial genius is step one, then you got to rally the troops.
Exactly. Technical skills are essential, that foundation. But communicating it, leading, inspiring, that's the fund manager X factor.
Speaking of essential skills, RoleCatcher's functions and core abilities, they get granular on what pays the bills here, and some might surprise you.
Right. It's about the whole package, not just the spreadsheets.
Of course, you need analytical chops, market knowledge, but they also list judgment, decision-making, complex problem-solving, even negotiation, persuasion.
Think about it. Complex instruments, volatile markets, managing a whole analyst team, high-stakes decisions, often with incomplete info, needs a cool head, critical thinking under pressure.
Definitely puts you to the test. But how much of this is like innate talent versus learned skills? Are you born for this or can you train for it?
That's the million-dollar question, right? And honestly, while some people are just wired for numbers or spotting trends, I'm a big believer in honing skills. Experience, sure, but also constantly learning.
Continuous learning, huh? So no resting on your laurels after that finance degree.
Not a chance.
Yeah.
This world moves fast. New regulations, tech disruptions, innovative strategies popping up. It's like a maze that's constantly rearranging itself.
Keeps you on your toes.
Big time. That's where those certifications come in, like the CFA, that Chartered Financial Analyst title. Shows employers you're serious, committed to staying ahead.
A badge of honor, kinda. Proving you're not just keeping up, you're pushing the field forward.
Exactly. It shows you're invested in your own growth, which in this game is non-negotiable.
Love that. So let's say someone's bought in, they're like, this is it, I want that fund manager title. What's that climb look like?
RoleCatcher's got a really neat roadmap for that. They outline the career stages, entry level, all the way up to, the big leagues, that principal role.
And what's cool is they don't just give you vague titles. They break down what each level does. No more wondering, what do junior fund managers even do all day?
So helpful, especially when you're just starting out. You see the progression, how your plate gets fuller, the impact grows.
Right. So entry level seems like a lot of assisting the senior folks, lots of research, feeling out the markets.
Getting your hands dirty, absorbing everything, that foundation is key.
Then you hit junior fund manager, and things get real. Helping shape strategy, involved in actual trades, even making recommendations from your own analysis.
You found your voice, taking more initiative, Still collaborative, but you're a bigger player now.
And then senior fund manager, you are the strategist, leading the analyst, overseeing the portfolio. You're basically calling the shots.
You've climbed the ranks, proven yourself, navigated market ups and downs, made those tough calls consistently. But it doesn't end there. There's still principal investment fund manager.
The peak of the mountain, what's up there?
This is beyond just one fund. You're shaping the firm's entire investment approach.
Yeah.
Mentoring the rising stars, building those key relationships, your decisions, they have a ripple effect.
Wow. Huge pressure, huge impact. But let's back up a bit. Say someone's listening, they're hooked. But how do they break into this world?
The good news is, RoleCatcher doesn't leave you hanging. Their Getting Started section is full of gems. Internships, those are still gold.
The classic.
For a reason. You're in the trenches, seeing if the day-to-day matches the dream. Plus, the networking is invaluable.
Totally. But what about career changers or folks already in finance but wanting to make the jump to fund management? Internship's still the move.
They're great, but not the only way. RoleCatcher mentions investment clubs. Might seem like a side thing, but it's applying knowledge in a low-pressure way,
Yeah.
honing those skills.
And meeting others who get it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Building that network. And something else that's huge, creating a track record. Even on a small scale, RoleCatcher talks about building a personal investment portfolio.
So like your highlight reel of smart moves.
Yep. It shows what you can do. Maybe even start a blog, write articles, get your name, your thinking out there, be proactive.
In a crowded field, that hustle makes a difference.
Huge difference. And speaking of standing out, gotta talk about interviews. Because even with the perfect resume, the glowing recommendations, that killer portfolio, you gotta ace that interview. Luckily, RoleCatcher knows the drill.
Their interview prep is like having a cheat sheet, right? You get a sense of the questions, the vibe.
And what they're really looking for in your answers, the do's, the don'ts, what resonates with the decision makers.
Okay, so picture this. You're face-to-face with a seasoned fund manager. The pressure's on. What curveballs should you be ready for? And RoleCatcher, thankfully, gives us a sneak peek. They have these sample questions. Man, they really make you think. It's not just, tell me about your resume stuff.
It's deeper. They want to know how you think, especially when things get messy. One example they give is classic. Tell me about a tough investment call you had to make.
Oh, I bet they love asking that one.
It's a staple for a reason. They want to see how you handle pressure, weighing those risks and rewards. It's less about being right or wrong, more about how you got there.
So your risk tolerance, how you analyze, making that call when the stakes are high, more than just knowing the right answers, it's having the guts to ACT on them.
100%. And remember, we talked about this. In this field, decisions have real consequences. They're sizing you up. Can you handle big money, those complex situations?
Can they trust you, basically, with their firm, their clients?
Trust is huge.
Yeah.
Trust in your judgment that you'll make the call that aligns with their whole philosophy.
Makes sense. So big picture now, we've really dug into this investment fund manager world. What are we walking away with?
For me, it's that this is more than a job, it's a mindset. Analytical, strategic, but also emotionally intelligent. And that hunger to keep learning never stops.
It's a grind, no doubt.
Yeah.
But the rewards, both financially, A&D, intellectually, they're up there.
Big time. And if you're wired for that fast pace, the problem solving, and you genuinely geek out on finance, that could be the career, the one that defines your legacy.
Love that. But before we wrap up, you said you had a thought-provoking question for our listener.
I did, because think about it, right? Algorithms, these trading platforms, they're getting crazy sophisticated. So in that world, what makes you irreplaceable as a human fund manager?
Ooh, I like this.
What's your edge when everyone's got the same data, the same tools? What makes you more than just another machine?
It's got to be something deeper, that human perspective, connecting dots that maybe algorithms miss, being more creative, more strategic.
Exactly. Embrace those challenges. Never stop learning. Always find that extra gear, the one algorithms don't have. That's the mark of a true pro in this game.
Such a great note to end on. So listeners, if you're ready to take that next step, RoleCatcher is your new best friend. It's an incredible resource, seriously. And until next time, keep those brains sharp and those ambitions even sharper.